Paris, one of the most popular destinations in the world. It is home to over 2 million residents and millions of tourists visit this place every year. This structure right here is called the Louvre Pyramid, designed by this guy, a Chinese-American architect named Liu Ming-pei. The pyramid is situated in the main courtyard of the Louvre Museum. The glass pyramid is 66 feet high, and it is a statement saying that France is a modern country and that they are ready for the future. The Louvre Museum is the largest museum in the world. It houses about 400,000 priceless artifacts. So I would suggest to spend a whole day or two when you visit the Louvre Museum. And even then, there's still not enough time to see everything that this place offers. The Louvre wasn't always used as a museum. In the year 1190, it was built as a fortress, and in the dawn of the 16th century, it became the royal palace of the French monarchy. It was not until the year 1793 that the Louvre Museum was open to the public, offering only a little over than 500 paintings. During the reign of Napoleon Bonaparte, he actually renamed the place Musée Napoléon and added some more items to the collection. But when he was defeated, these items were returned back to their respective owners. And in the Second World War, the Nazis used this place as a storeroom for stolen art. The tomb of Philippe Pot. It shows him being carried by 8 of his nobles. He was appointed by Louis XI as the governor of Burgundy. This tiara right here belonged to Marie Therese, the only living daughter of Napoleon I and Marie Antoinette. This diamond bow brooch and this pearl parua belonged to Empress Eugenie for her wedding to Napoleon III. This is the Empress's jewelry cabinet. It belonged to Napoleon's first wife, Josephine. When they got divorced, it was then passed on to Napoleon's second wife, Marie Louise. The museum houses hundreds, if not thousands, of vases. These two are some of them. Unfortunately, I could not find their description in the catalog. If you know the names of this collection, please let me know. The bed shown here belongs to King Charles X. It was placed in the former bedroom of Napoleon I. It is said that the main purpose of this furniture is plainly ceremonial, not for sleeping. This crystal dressing table was probably made for Caroline, the Duchess de Berry, and the daughter-in-law of Charles X. This is Napoleon's throne. There's not much I can say about this chair, apart from Napoleon sitting on it, and it's a bit small compared to the one in King's Landing. Now this carpet was the one that caught my attention. This was delivered in 1810 for the marriage ceremony of Napoleon I and Marie Louise. The original design bore the symbols of Napoleon's empire. The paintings in the museum are massive, and the rooms that house them are even bigger. The Wedding Feast at Cana. This was created by the Italian artist Paolo Veronese in the year 1563. The painting depicts a popular biblical story at which Jesus turns water into wine. Finally, the Mona Lisa, also called the portrait of Lisa Gherardini, the wife of Francesco del Giocondo, created by one of the most popular artists of all time, Leonardo da Vinci. A bulletproof glass has been added to protect the Mona Lisa painting, as there were attempts to destroy it with acid and rocks. After a whole day, we decided to end our museum tour and head out to the city. Paris is filled with so many historic buildings. Too many to mention, in fact. It is amazing how Paris was able to preserve their old buildings while incorporating modern architecture. Chateau de Versailles. This is my favorite. Simply because its gardens stretch as far as your eyes could see. The chateau grounds and gardens date back way before King Louis XIV. But it was him who commissioned his gardener André with the creation and renovation of the gardens of Versailles. Creating the gardens was a monumental task. It required thousands of men and more than 40 years to complete. To maintain the design, the garden needed to be replanted once in every 100 years. In December 1999, a storm devastated the gardens. Since then, it has been fully replanted. It now boasts a youthful appearance, similar to what it would have looked like to King Louis XIV. In 1789, the French Revolution forced King Louis XVI to leave Versailles for Paris. The palace would never again be a royal residence. In 1837, it became the Museum of the History of France. The Eiffel Tower is named after its engineer, Gustave Eiffel. His company started building the tower in 1887 and was finished 2 years after as the entrance to the 1889's World's Fair. The Eiffel Tower is 1,063 feet tall. It's the tallest structure in Paris. The River Seine. It stretches 777 kilometers all the way to the English Channel.
This is first.
The mosque or not right now?
This is a historic building which unfortunately whose name I cannot pronounce. Here you can see the Trocadero. The Pantheon is a church dedicated to the patron saint of Paris, Saint Genevieve. Finally, at the end of your tour, you can have a nice snack from their restaurant and buy some souvenirs from their shops. Well, that's the end of our Paris adventure. See you in the next episode.